A confidential FBI source charged with lying about President Biden and his son Hunter, accused of providing false, derogatory information, which is central to the House Republicans' impeachment inquiry. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has more on that from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
Rebecca, good morning. The FBI informant House Republicans have pointed to in efforts to impeach President Biden is now being called a liar by a special counsel. This morning, the special counsel's investigation of Hunter Biden is raising serious questions about the credibility of an FBI informant who has been central to the House Republicans' case for impeaching President Biden. Special counsel David Weiss has indicted FBI confidential informant Alexander Smirnov, charging him with making false statements and obstruction of justice. Weiss claims that Smirnov lied, giving false derogatory information concerning Hunter Biden and President Biden in 2020. After Biden had announced his bid for the presidency. The alleged lies concern whether Biden was bribed by officials with Ukrainian energy giant Burisma. Sources telling ABC News that Smirnov is the confidential informant that House Republicans have cited repeatedly against President Biden.
We also found a Form 1023, an FBI form alleging Joe Biden took a bribe. And what we learned from this is the FBI never investigated this allegation.
But the FBI recently confronted Smirnov about his claims. And the special counsel flatly says his stories fell apart. The defendant's story to the FBI was a fabrication, an amalgam of otherwise unremarkable business meetings. The motive for allegedly lying, the special counsel says Smirnov did not want Biden to be president. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison. George?
Okay, Pierre, thanks very much. It's been our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Let's start right there, Dan. Pretty stunning development there, stunning indictment. The House impeachment inquiry was already pretty thin, and at its heart was this allegation.
Right, remember, this is what jump-started the House impeachment inquiry. This idea that Hunter and Joe Biden had each gotten $5 million bribes. At least that was the allegation. Now it's not just unsubstantiated. It's actually a confirmed lie, according to the special counsel, who, remember, is a Republican who was initially appointed by Donald Trump.
That's right. And we also now have, of course, more rulings coming for Donald Trump today. Let's start with that civil trial here in New York.
It's just a question of how bad is it going to be, right? He's already been determined to have committed fraud. The question is, what are going to be the damages? How much money? Will he be prevented from doing business in New York? Will family members of his be prevented from doing business in New York? And remember, no matter what happens with the election, this sticks if there's no win on appeal in New York State.
And then right in the middle of the primaries for the Republican nomination, although he could have it wrapped up by then, the first ever criminal trial for a former president.
Yeah, and look, I think to some degree this is a win for Donald Trump. This is the trial he wanted to go first. This is the weakest of all the cases against him. There's a reason he goes to this case.
Less serious, or because of the nature of the evidence?
Both. It's less serious. It's also a tougher case. Because think about it this way. It's a tough argument on this case to get him convicted of a felony. They think they can do it. But the more likely conviction might be a misdemeanor, right? Or a hung jury. If you get anything short of a felony conviction, Donald Trump walks out, number one, not serving any prison time, and number two, declaring victory. And as a result, I think that Donald Trump and his team are pleased about this case. There was never a question that this case was going to get dismissed. People saying, oh, the case is moving forward. That's a big loss for Donald Trump. Of course this case was going to move forward.
If you're right, that may say more about our times than about the seriousness of the charge, which is pretty unbelievable. Finally, Fani Willis, does she survive?
Look, bad day for her personally. I think she may still survive the effort to disqualify her.
Okay, Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.